Okay, now it's going, and we'll give everyone a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Get situated here.
Lord.
Okay. Saying excellent connection.
Excellent. Yeah, we did not too bad with that. Not too shabby, Krabby. Okay.
Now I got that music stuck in my head.
Which music?
Do 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 do.
The 80s.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it'll probably take a few minutes for people to creep on into the chat. Crypt Kitty Louie is here, walking around.
As always.
He's such a sweetheart. Hi, little baby. Come here, Mr. Floofers. Oh, he went under the table. Hi, buddy.
There we go.
Oh, I'm getting so stuffy.
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 Tis the season.
Itchy nose. Okay, Amanda's here. Ed is here. Jennifer Delaney. Wiki Bobby.
That's plenty.
The Night Owls are creeping on into the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey guys, welcome back. We're just giving everybody a couple minutes. We're getting all situated here. Fei Chen's here. Richard Perez is here. You alright, dude?
Yeah, it feels like just a little dry.
Well, you've got your drink there.
I'm trying to wet my whistle.
Albert says, hey, Janet and Grim, good to see you again. Hey there, Connie
Hey,
Clary,
Albert.
Rebel Ghoul.
Ooh, baby.
Randall's here. It's so good to see you guys. I'm out of the hospital and on the road to recovery. Oh, wow. Well,
Wow, good to hear, man.
We hope you're doing better, Randall. Wow.
Absolutely.
Greg
Yeah.
Tominski's here.
Hey, Greg.
Woohoo.
The Snackmaster General himself.
Very cool.
Seeing him in a few weeks, I'm sure.
Probably.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah. Insane Jay is here. Night Owls. Hoot, hoot.
Woo, woo.
Shh, shh, shh.
Yeah, that's a funny thing, too. I remember people had all kinds of weird things they would say. Kill, 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 ha, ha. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, people would try to, like, make up
Kill,
lyrics
kill,
to it.
Well, they would say, I thought it was just like, ch, 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 ch. I don't know what that means. It's just some weird.
Just some little sound effect, yeah.
That kind of stuff to me, though, that I still don't know the history of that. Like why did they put that in there? It's very genius, in a way that they may not even realize when they did it that it was such a cool thing to do. It's like OS, there's the Jason sound, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But even though Jason never talked,
maybe they didn't realize it'd be that like iconic, like all these years later.
But it's kind of creepy, you
but
know?
it's kind of like
it works.
Yeah, because the kind of reminds me of the Jaws, like do 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 do.
Or even better,
you know, like each like those iconic movies seem to have like
yes.
their own iconic sound effects.
Yeah, or
sounds,
or even
whatever.
in the vein of, even though it's not a horror movie, the Ferris Bueller, chicka chicka.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Was supposed to be something like that, like where it's just a vocal part. It wasn't intended. I don't think it was intended.
Have to look that up.
I don't think it was intended to be Jason making that noise. It was just what do you call that? Like sound design, you know, like they just had this atmospheric music or sound, you know, and these people that score movies, they win Emmys for sound design and Oscars.
But probably
even.
not in the indie horror community.
But that was an indie movie. That was a Paramount Pictures.
It was, but you know, in the horror genre doesn't seem to get a lot of that
doesn't matter. But there's someone that is hired to do sound design for that movie.
Yes, okay.
So I could see, I don't know, but I could see like a sound designer going, I could just make moody music, but what if I just add this element into it, just to do it, and then what they did became, oh, that's Jason. That's not, well, I don't think that's supposed to be Jason. I bet you any money that's. I just wonder. I don't.
Well, why don't you look it up?
I'm curious. There's
got to
be some essay.
I'm sure
on that, right?
There's so many.
Does anybody out there know the whole ha 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 Jason sound what the origin of that. Like, why
Just
did
look
they?
it up later on the Google.
It's kind of cool.
If
though.
only we had a device where we could find out.
I know we could.
If only.
But I never thought to do that until now.
Okay, well, let's
I'm fascinated.
Let's intro the show. Here.
Are we ready to start the show officially?
Yes, there's a lot of people talking, and there's lots of comments coming in.
Get them all whooped up.
Yes.
All right, ready? Hawk Tua. Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting edition of The Mummy and the Monkey's Harry Scary Hangover. I'm your host, Grim Gory.
And I'm Janet Takei, and this is the after show chat show. We host the Harry Scary Hangout on most Friday nights. We live stream it here on the Mummy and the Monkey YouTube channel. And sometimes we do a little after show after we're done hosting the movie. We're here to talk about Friday the 13th stuff.
That's tonight. Well, that's tonight's topic.
That's the topic for tonight.
Not every show. Yeah.
Every show is that.
We
talk about different things for different shows.
Yeah, Janet is comfortable. For me, I like it to be a free-for-all, but I don't mind if it is. But you like a topic, so.
Sometimes it's nice to have a topic. And actually, Wiki Bobby, our chat moderator, suggested bringing up the Friday the 13th origins and superstition origins. Because Friday the 13th is a superstitious date to some people.
And you did some digging on that.
I did some research. To some people, it means like bad luck. It's a bad omen. Don't leave the house. Don't get out from your bed. Just kind of hide under your covers.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Yeah, until the day is done. You know,
and recently, hide your cats and hide your dogs.
Nervous about Friday the 13th.
Yes.
And, you know, it's a good question. Like, okay, where did that come from? But first,
why are people afraid of Friday the 13th?
But hold that thought. We're going to read some comments,
Hi-yo.
and then we'll get into it here.
Because this is your show, too.
You guys are looking good, says Randall. Thank you, Randall.
Thank you, buddy.
Rebel Ghoul says it was a drum cymbal slowed down a bunch, I think.
Oh, was it really? Okay, could be. See? There's all this folklore about that.
And Kev Thulu says, I went to school with a kid named Jason Voorhees.
Weird.
Wow, you just love to...
Come on, you ain't used to that yet? 250
You
episodes?
would think I would be used to it.
And living with me, too?
I know, right?
Come on, man.
Bojangler says he was saying an abbreviated form of Killer Mom.
Really? See, there's all these... Does anybody know? Is there a definitive answer?
Paul says, I always thought it was voices saying kill, kill, kill.
That's what people do. My first hearing of it was cheer, 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 ha, ha, ha.
And Neil House says, my vehicle got hit by a truck on Friday the 13th. Whoa.
Yeah, that's not good, but you know.
Yikes. Okay. So, yeah, I did some digging. Now.
What did you find out? Investigative reporting at its finest. Right here on the Harry Scary Hangover.
According to the interwebs, the Google, and the Wikipedia.
Janet Monday. Remember Carl Monday here? You're Janet Monday.
The Friday the 13th superstition... There's no, set origin story, but there's a couple of origins where it may have came from.
Yeah.
So, this, I believe, predates the Christian religion. The Norse mythology, it was Norse superstition. So, the Norse myth was about 12 gods. They were all having dinner together in Valhalla. Kind of like their heaven. You know, it's where they go. The trickster god.
I thought that was a band from the 80s.
That was Van Halen.
Oh, sorry.
You're getting it mixed up, Chris.
My bad. David Lee Roth was Van Halen. Oh, Valhalla.
So, okay, these 12 Norse gods, they're hanging out in Valhalla, like their version of heaven. They're having dinner, and the trickster god Loki shows up, and he wasn't invited. I wonder why they don't like to invite him.
Because he's always causing problems.
Yeah. So he arrived as the 13th guest and caused all kinds of trouble. So 13 was considered an unlucky number.
That sounds plausible.
Because, 13 guests, Loki, the god of mischief. So then, fast forward to the Christian religion, you've got Jesus in the Last Supper and the crucifixion. 13 individuals were present in the upper room for the Last Supper.
So it was 12 apostles and Jesus.
So that was 13.
So 13.
That was 13. So that was considered an unlucky number because it was before the crucifixion, the 13 people there.
Or...
So I guess, people from different,
I see.
I guess
yes.
religion's considered 13 unlucky.
Well, and there is a lot of numerology in the Bible. I mean, there's a lot of like
Yes,
repetitive
and
numbers in the Bible.
With a lot of different beliefs, yeah, the numbers are very
There are
prevalent.
There's a lot of, well, maybe not numerology specifically, but there's a lot of number correlations definitely in the Bible itself.
Yeah, so those are the two possible origins to the people being afraid of the number 13 or Friday the 13th.
And there's a flip side of it where it was lucky.
Yes, and if you look at the Italian culture, lucky 13. 13 is a lucky number in Italian culture, and 17 is a bad luck number. So for the Friday the 13th stuff, they had to change it to like Friday the 17th.
In Italy.
In Italy. Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun.
Another Friday the 17th, the movie.
Yeah.
But it's funny because, and that just because we all snicker at that because 17 really might as well be 85 or 36. But if you grow up conditioned thinking that something is something, it's ingrained in you because 13, everyone.
And if you grow up hearing that from your family,
anyone in the United States,
you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's unlucky. 13, that's bad."
Most people in the United States, if you're religious or not, 13 is associated with or affiliated with unlucky. Mm. 13. That's why there's no 13
William
floors.
Rochot has a good comment. Knights Templar was arrested on Friday the 13th. That's another thing I was going to bring up. Yes.
And they don't have a 13th floor in a lot of buildings because of that.
That's true. In America.
Weird.
And in other parts of the world, there is no 13th floor in buildings that have multiple floors.
They skip it.
Yeah.
It goes from 12 to 14. Isn't that weird? Like, that really messes with people that bad.
It does. It does. Yeah.
Crazy.
So let's read a few comments and then we'll continue on.
Well, everyone that turns 14 was 13. And I guess if you make it to 14, you're lucky, right?
Mofei Chen says, isn't it also 6 plus 7?
The number of God, the number of man?
Devil, Jesus was 7 or something.
There's a lot of number stuff in the
Bible. Well, 666 is associated with the devil, and then 7 is associated with, like, I guess, man and the heavens, and it's supposed to be like a lucky number. 7 is a number of man.
The 7 days in the creation myth.
7 days in a week.
In the creation myth. The creation in the Bible.
In that religion.
Whatever, I'm not going to say myth. But but there's a 7 days, and and that's just, the number of man, the mark of the beast is 666.
Yeah.
And it's 6, it's...
So numbers are, numbers in certain days, people are very superstitious with certain things.
Yeah, and I understand it because, math is definitely the key to everything. I mean, and that's why I don't know anything. But math and it definitely explains. It is what it is. It's pretty much.
Well, math is always like 2 plus 2 will always equal 4. With the other stuff that's superstitious, it's open to whatever people's beliefs are.
Not according to Terrence Howard.
So, well, we're not gonna get into that. So let's see a few more comments.
This is the Joe Rogan Experience. This is the Mummy the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangover.
That's where they keep the time machines on the 13th floor.
I knew it.
Maybe it's like a hidden floor.
You mean like the spice time? Like that's how they make this. Oh, see, that's a. If you made spices, if you were like, you'd be the time machine. THYME.
Oh boy. Okay.
Here goes my ADD.
Kirk Harrington says in ancient Greek mathematics, 13 was a bad number. Yeah. So even the ancient Greeks were like, 13.
As smart as they were.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that might all relate to the yin and the yang thing. Even in Eastern philosophy, there's always like
good and bad.
It's a balance,
give and
right?
take. Yeah.
But that's cause and effect. It's the same thing. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just you have to have something to to go back and forth.
Yeah. All right, so fast forward to 1907.
That's a counterweight.
The author T.W. Lawson made a novel called Friday the 13th. And it's about like a slimy stockbroker guy who takes advantage of the superstition to create panic at Wall Street.
But that was all based on the fact that was already...
So even in the early 1900s, 1800s, people were still associating, the Friday the 13th thing kind of stuck around. Like, it's bad luck. It's taboo.
I think 13 is a lucky number, though. I always feel it's lucky.
Lucky 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it can be perceived as a lucky number. Well, and in Italy it is.
So I might be Italian, even though I'm not Italian.
Yeah,
I haven't done 23andMe, so I don't know. Maybe I am, but I don't know.
Okay, so let's see. And then fast forward to 1980. you've got the Friday the 13th franchise starting with all the Friday the 13th movies throughout the 80s, 90s, and modern times.
Yeah, there's no way they knew that was going to take off. But
So, and that's, you use, okay, so, and it was a great combination. So, the Friday the 13th Superstition, Jason, this, like, you know, killer ghost guy.
well, to be honest, though, you know, the first movie wasn't the kid.
Oh, well, it was the mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert. 50-year-old spoiler alert. Yeah, it was the mom doing all the killing.
Yes, it was at first, but then later on, Jason takes over.
Right.
So, and the rest is history.
Yeah. But so that was kind of clever, though, the way they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the film just became, you know, a vehicle of how you know, creatively can you kill people.
Pretty much.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, they got really creative with it. He even went to space.
Well,
So.
yes, Jason X, yes.
Jason X.
Which I like
was,
that movie.
Oh, it's so cheesy.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I love all the crappy sequels, and I prefer crappy sequels over remakes.
Even Jason versus Freddy, you know.
The Freddy versus Jason thing wasn't
that good.
that good, but it was still enjoyable. I saw it in the movie
But
theater.
you're not going to
came
see,
out.
Gone with the Wind or Citizen Kane. It's Freddy versus freaking Jason.
I know.
Right? I mean, not you,
know.
but anybody. It's just like...
Well, it's just fun, you know?
And the Academy Award goes to Freddy versus Jason.
It's not to be taken seriously.
No, it's for fun.
Okay, a lot of comments here. Let's see.
This is an interactive show, so let's interact.
Oh, is it? I didn't know.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
We should interact.
Let's see. Rebel Ghoul made a comment. Where did that go?
Where did that go?
Where did that ghoul? Where did that go? She put something on... Someone commented that they loved Space Jason. Oh,
Yeah.
Rebel Ghoul. She says, I loved Space Jason.
I thought that was refreshing because everything... Well, even when we went to Manhattan, it was kind of funny. You know, take them out of the element, you know, obviously. There's a couple of the earlier movies that were pretty good. The first one's really good, but...
Bruce says, if I had a time machine, I'd go back in a few years to buy groceries.
Oh,
You'd have to
please.
go back like 10 years.
Yeah, to make any... Yeah, that's the interesting
And
thing
4
about...
years ago, we didn't have toilet paper, so...
There's a lot of weird stuff.
All kinds of weird things.
But I noticed, dude, I mean, this is a different subject, but, like, going through all these old, like, videotapes and seeing all these old commercials, there's some stuff that went drastically up. And some stuff from, like, 30 years ago,
yeah,
even.
some
that's
stuff
like
stayed the same.
That's just, like, $1 more now. I don't know how that all works out, but...
Right.
It's the availability of things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, if companies get used to charging people a certain amount and nobody, I mean, what are you going to do?
It's the corporations just doing what they want to do.
Yeah, it's called price gouging. It's nothing new.
It's the more things change, the more they stay the same with some
unfortunately,
things.
yeah, it's too bad.
Albert Mattelski, happy 13th of Friday. It's Friday the 13th for like another 40 minutes.
Oh man.
If you are Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. Yeah, Superstition, but this is supposed to be about what other superstitions? There's so many of them.
So superstitions in general and Friday the 13th.
Don't walk
stuff
under
too.
a ladder. I mean, I've read about.
Oh yeah, don't walk under a ladder. Don't step on the cracks of the sidewalk.
But what's lucky? A rabbit's foot's lucky.
Lucky rabbit's foot.
Not for the rabbit.
No, the poor bunny rabbit.
See, it's a relative thing, right?
Yeah, I don't like the lucky rabbit's
Maybe there's
foot.
the irony is built into that. Maybe that's the whole point of the rabbit's foot. Is that it's lucky for you, but not lucky for the rabbit.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I don't know where that came from.
Maybe that's... I don't know. There's a lot of research we need to do.
And don't sweep someone's feet. Like if you're sweeping the
yeah,
floor,
I've heard of that.
that was a Polish thing, I think. I remember hearing that from some relatives.
Well, every culture has their own sort of superstition, sure.
Don't sweep your feet. Don't sweep my feet, or you're gonna go to a funeral.
Okay, so
that was a superstition.
One thing I think I've always thought was interesting, like how superstition in sports, especially baseball, they are very superstitious.
Are they? I don't see. I like baseball a little bit, but I'm not a super sporty person.
Well, I don't know. It's interesting.
I root for our home team, but that's about it.
I mean,
I don't really know all the details of baseball.
But I've read things over the years that baseball specifically, that particular sport, they're very superstitious about things. And I don't now. Do you think superstition? I wonder if superstitions have things to do with ADD. But you know how they're diagnosing these things now, and they're having like
maybe
names?
It's just people being nervous about certain things, or they will associate a bad experience with a certain day or a certain thing.
It could be spectrum related because we're seeing that now. We're like a bunch of oh my gosh, all the terminology that was used 40, 50, 60 years ago would be politically incorrect now, and technically incorrect as well.
Yes.
Because we weren't aware of some of these things.
It would be considered crude and offensive.
Yeah, and all these sports existed back then too.
Yes.
So maybe some of that's mired in just like, well, if you don't do something a certain way all the time, like again, wash your hands 5 times, not 6, because if you do it that way, your day is off.
I'm not sure, so I don't know.
But some sports stuff's like that,
Well,
especially
what?
baseball.
Name one.
I can't. But if you do some...
But then why'd you bring it up?
We're bringing up general topics that you can explore yourself.
Okay.
But baseball is very, very, superstitious about things.
So, okay, Amanda Childer says ladders.
Yeah.
Bruce Cook says, Bruce Cook knows. Scratch and spit twice. Baseball, it's good luck. To scratch and spit twice. Well, what are they scratching?
Huh. You know it. Yeah, you know it. That's right.
Maybe I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Neil says throw salt over your shoulder.
Right.
Yes, because salt was supposed to keep the evil away.
Spirits away. Yeah, it's just even saying God bless you or Gesundheit after someone sneezes so a demon doesn't fly up your nose.
Yes, because you don't want demons flying up your nose.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Or boogers flying out
My
your
point
nose.
is that there's a lot. We didn't do any research on any of these. We could be wrong about the Gesundheit thing, and the God bless you stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what we read.
John Biggin says, among technicians, there's a common superstition. You never say a machine or system is working well. You say, so far, no problems.
See how it goes. It's like every profession, everything has some sort
or
of...
like actors, they say break a leg.
Yes.
Like for theater actors, stage actors.
And that's a good luck thing to say.
And that's for a good luck thing.
It's
Don't
like the
break a leg.
opposite
Or no, break a leg.
Break a leg.
And that's the good luck
No,
one.
break a leg means good luck.
Means good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes the opposite means something.
Brian says baseball players won't admit it, but they truly are superstitious.
Hugely. It's weird.
And then William Rochot says, if someone gives you a knife, pay them for it. Superstition is within 1 year, your relationship will be cut. Oh, I never heard that one before.
And
I heard, for New Year's, you're supposed to eat pork and sauerkraut because my mummy said that if you eat chicken, you'll be scratching all year. You'll be scraping by pretty much.
But if you think
if you eat certain foods, it's supposed to give you a prosperous year.
And I'm just throwing some stuff out there and seeing what sticks. But now that we understand a little bit more about, not trying to get heavy here, but I'm just using the vernacular of and the stuff that but maybe a lot of that is attributed to before we understood with ADD and OCDs. That sounds kind of OCD if you think about it.
Possibly.
Do this twice and do this twice, or if you don't, you can't. It could
have just been a little tradition, someone started with friends, with fellow teammates, with family members, and then it just sort of grew
goes way,
over
way
time.
back.
I know it
throwing
grew,
the salt over, that's sort of like scratch twice.
It goes way far back, but that's just maybe human nature in general.
Right, but OCDs don't hurt anybody. I have one of my big OCDs is double checking locks.
Oh, okay.
You know me. I'll run back out of the car and check to make sure. Even though I remember I just locked it. It's a thing, and it's
where you have to double check.
But is that the same thing as a superstition? Are superstitions and that related? That's what I'm trying.
Mo Chen says OCD people don't feel right if they don't do their pattern. So
so it's kind of like a superstition. A little bit.
Some of the superstitious stuff also falls into
religious,
or supernatural things.
Right.
So it's not necessarily
it's the
like
same
someone with an OCD thing.
Kind of is though, because
it could, but it's not always the case.
But the stigma,
it isn't always.
The catalyst is different.
It could just be a very maybe they're just a very religious person, and they were told, you do this thing a certain way, and that's how you do it, and
to edify whatever it is that you're trying to.
And they just want to follow tradition.
Ward against, right? That's what I'm saying.
So maybe it's not necessarily an OCD thing. It's just that they like to follow certain traditions.
But OCD people if it's a security thing, well, I got to make sure my door is locked or they have security there.
Yeah,
so
but that's not a superstition. That's just you being OCD.
Which came first, though? I don't know.
Is there a superstition to check your door lock? I don't know.
But we call it. But it's the same behavior, though. It's the exact same behavior, but labeled differently. This is for security. This is for spiritual.
Similar, but not always the same. Like,
that's what just said.
I get your point, but it's not always the same thing.
It's just something that
Yeah.
kind of I never thought about. So it just
Yeah.
kind of hit me now. Like, I wonder if there's any correlation. I don't know.
Mofei Chen says, Grim, you may have a point because supernatural was an easy way to explain things you didn't understand.
Boom.
Yes.
I know this. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that is possible.
I just said I said before all that we're learning things as we go. Yes, before we understood how to explain that, we attributed it to something else.
Yeah.
Like maybe a ghost or supernatural or religious stuff. And then as we're growing out of some of that stuff, we're understanding that it's not that. It's maybe just behavioral. And you assign whatever you're into. Like if you're a very religious person, your OCD stuff could be then superstitious, but it's still, I don't know. It just it's just what I see. I could.
So,
here's a guy in a monkey mask talking about this kind of stuff.
John Biggins says, whenever things are going great, I get the feeling something bad is going to happen. Oh, like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Right.
Like,
then
it's
the saying.
Like, yeah, because people get worried. They're like, oh, things are going really well. What's going to happen next?
Well, something is always, but there's no always all bad, always all good.
Things will always happen, but you
There's
just try to make the best of
things.
it, right? You just try to do the best you can. That's all you can do, right?
Yeah, it'll never be always good or always bad. There's
always that yin and yang.
And it never's going to be balanced. It won't necessarily be
ideally,
balanced.
it'd be good if things were more balanced. But
the trick, it's like hopefully, right. There's some stuff you can't control. It's beyond your control, so you can't be pressed by that.
Paul F. says Mr. Rogers named the puppet Friday the 13th and had birthdays for him on Friday the 13th.
I remember that.
And he was King Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers was an awesome
He was a very good psychologist. He understood people on a base level, and that's how he talked to people. He didn't get deep. I think this show has gotten deeper than it. But Mr. Rogers operated at a different level.
Yeah. On
a very base, and then from there you have to take it and figure everything out on your own. But he related to everybody on a very base human level.
Yes. Don't eat the yellow snow, says Ricky Bobby Sonia.
Well, no. Yeah, I agree with that one. Especially if it's someone's name's written in it.
Greg Tominski says, I know if I smile, bad things happen. Oh, you should. It's good to smile. But that's my view on it. I mean, everyone feels differently.
That's interesting.
I like the idea of, putting good vibes out there in the universe and trying to be a positive person. I know there are days when it's tough for people. People have their bad days.
I tell you, there's no 100%.
Yeah,
that's a fallacy. That's great expectations and all that.
Yeah. All right. So more
superstitions.
Yes. So black cats. So for a long time, some people thought black cats were bad luck. I think black cats are good luck. And we have 3 crypt kitties here, our black cats. And I think they're our lucky black cats.
I love them, love them, love them. And if they were red, blue, green, I don't care. As people would say, purple, plaid.
And during the Middle Ages, there were people that were so fearful of black cats, they killed them off. Wow. And there was a reduction in the cat population. And some people think that that's what started the plagues. Because there were
the rats.
So there were more rats around because there were less cats to catch the rats, and they were spreading more disease, more germs, and people weren't clean then. They didn't think to wash their hands or wash themselves on a regular basis.
You throw the balance off.
So then there's germs, plague, and everyone's getting sick.
Interesting. Well, I don't know if that could be proven or not, but that's an interesting.
But it was around that time when they were like, "Oh, black cats are scary. Kill them all."
Yeah, but what about the other cats?
The other cats, I guess, were okay.
Only the black cats kill the rats?
Well, it was a big reduction. It was a big reduction in the cat population.
Interesting. Well,
so that was a theory.
Yeah, that's strange to me. Again, I see things oppositely. I like 13. I like black cat. I walk under ladders. I don't think about any of that kind of stuff.
Kirk Harrington says anxiety experts do not consider superstition related to OCD.
Really? Interesting. See, I was curious about that. That's why I asked the question. I don't know.
They thought it was bad for you to wash, says Killing Reality.
Oh, boy.
Woof.
Who? They who?
The people who weren't cleaning themselves in the Middle Ages. So everyone was running around stinking.
Yeah.
Kind of like a comic book convention.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well.
So yeah, we love our good luck black cats, and I don't think they're bad luck at all. I think they're wonderful
I've
additions
never had a no.
to the Erie cemetery,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're great friends.
Yeah. It's just to me, it's just such a silly thing to the color of anything meaning, and it doesn't mean. I mean, now that's not true when it comes to poison things. You know, obviously, if you see a really bright frog in the Amazon, like a bright blue or bright yellow frog, don't touch it. That sucker will kill you.
Oh yeah.
So it does mean something. Colors of animals mean something. But
for some creatures like that,
black cats
definitely
are fine.
Definitely.
Those dart frogs, poison tree frogs.
Okay, and then we talked about numbers. Like some people associate certain numbers with good luck.
Do you
or
have
bad
any
luck.
superstitions?
Do I have any superstitions?
I guess, okay, so the difference between a superstition maybe and like an OCD thing is that a superstition is probably based on something that's not, that really doesn't mean anything.
It might not.
It's
stuff that,
as opposed to an OCD, which is an actual, like, you know.
you have to double check, triple check things.
Well, but yeah, but it's something that's
like someone that might wash their hands over and over again, or
it's more
check
of a
the door
chemical
lock.
thing versus a thought thing, you know.
Yeah.
I think that could be that's probably the difference.
Where a superstitious thing is, I'm gonna wear my lucky necklace today because if I wear this piece of jewelry, I noticed I'll have a
I see
where
that.
it doesn't really make sense. There's no fact to it, but it makes you feel better.
And it can change the next day where somebody says, now you should be afraid of
kind of like
brown cats.
When we went out to the yard sales once, and I'm like, I found a ring that was silver, and I'm like, ooh, that's my lucky ring. And then for a while, I wore it around as my lucky thrifting ring.
Yeah, where something that's like a compulsive, like, you know, within someone's, like, that's an ingrained thing, and it won't change.
Right.
It won't change. Like in another 100 years, if people pushed that brown cats or white cats were bad luck, they would say, "Oh yeah, because I heard." But as opposed to like something like an OCD, which is like, it's a chemical thing. It's not a suggestive thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I got it.
Kirk says to differentiate between occasional superstitions and OCD, it is essential to consider the severity, frequency, and impact of the thoughts and behaviors.
Right.
Okay, so he looked it up online.
I get it. Yeah. No, I understand now. I just didn't know if they have anything.
Yeah,
to do
because
with
the superstitions are mostly harmless.
Yeah,
they don't interfere,
and they're arbitrary.
But if you have like an OCD thing, depending on the severity of it, it could be like an interruption to your daily stuff.
Right. Well, some, but so could some superstitions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Friday the 13th thing. If someone's so nervous about doing anything that day.
Gosh.
Yeah, where it would interrupt your day for sure.
Yeah, that's a different but then that falls into psychology.
Where you're like, well, it's Friday the 13th. Oh, that one bad thing happened last year.
That bleeds over into
maybe
psychology.
I'll just call off today.
That bleeds over into psychology.
Yeah. Where I think, hey, it could be good luck, and we like scary movies, so what the hell? Let's do a show.
But superstition. But I think the difference is superstitions are definitely more frivolous.
Yeah.
And whereas OCDs or things like that are definitely more ingrained biologically and
like I have to do this.
Yeah, psychologically versus this, like,
they feel compelled in when.
Everybody was living around black cats until one person said that black cat made me trip, and then other people wanted to believe that they were no good. And then they adopted
Killing
that
Reality
idea.
says, I always have to put on my left shoe first for no reason. I cannot make myself put on the right first.
Yeah,
so,
that's a behavioral thing.
Everyone's got their own little quirks they do.
That's not a superstition, though.
Broken shoelaces will ruin my day, says Rebel Ghoul. So that's
because where are you going to get a damn shoelace? You have to go... with one shoe, you have to go to the store to get a shoelace? So buy slip-ons.
David Hayes says there was less divorce when people didn't wash because you only got used to the smell of the people you were around all the time. Wow. I don't know about that.
I can understand
I just don't think people divorced very often back in the day. I think it was like, I don't think some cultures let it happen. I don't
know. Whoa. He brings up a good point, though. A lot of the stuff that we use, like as ornamentation now, was functional, like a boutonniere, and flowers, and perfume even. That stuff was invented to mask the smell,
to mask body
of the other people. I'll never forget. I love the show Doctor Who, And I think it was maybe one of the David Tennant years ones. It was really funny. So he brings one of his companions, because the Doctor always has like someone from, the modern day to go travel with him through time. And they went back to, I don't know, it was like Rome or Italy, like back in the, who knows, maybe like in the 1500s. And they get out of the TARDIS, the time travel machine.
Yeah.
And right away, the person that was with him goes, "Whoa, my God." He goes, "Oh, yes, the smell. Blah, blah, blah." Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because everyone stinks.
Oh. And there was something I saw the other day about in Rome, when they would have the Colosseum stuff go on, that there was some sort, I forget what the basis of it was, doesn't matter, but they were talking about how they thought some of it was based, one thing they were talking about was based on the fact that, or the record that that there were people that would spray sort of an incense into the crowd.
Spray incense? Or wouldn't they just have incense going?
There was
How do you spray incense?
Well, through liquid. Liquid incense. There's liquefied incense. A scent.
I don't know if they had liquefied incense
Glade.
back then. Yeah, they didn't have Glade in ancient Rome or Greece.
They didn't have Glade, but they could scent water and fluids.
They didn't have Febreze back then.
But they didn't have a can.
But they probably lit incense and maybe had scented oils.
But they had a way to.
They probably had perfumes and scented oils.
Right, but
maybe they sprayed them with scented oil.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Some sort of liquid. Oils and liquid. Liquids and oil. However they sprayed it.
Okay.
But the fact that to kind of calm the crowd down a little bit, because everybody was humming, as they say now, to use a common term. Humming.
Yucky.
They were stanky. But yeah, it's kind of funny like that. But boutonnieres, close enough, bouquets.
Well, in ancient Egyptian times, there's ladies and they would wear wigs because they had lice. They had an issue with lice and like keeping their hair clean or something. So a lot of the ancient Egyptians would shave their heads and wear wigs.
Okay.
And they would keep the bugs away.
This goes back to my whole
And then they would have scented wax cones on top of the wigs, so as during the day it would like melt and it would make your hair smell nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can build the pyramids, but they can't figure out how to make toilet paper.
Well, they tried to make themselves smell
roll
better.
on deodorant.
And they knew like, hey, if I shave my hair, it'll keep the lice away.
I ain't putting anybody down. I just think it's funny how like there's.
Well, and everything was more,
Nobody thought. Why would you want to do that?
They couldn't go to the Dollar Tree and get a thing of Speed Stick back then.
All I know is that
it was way different.
I went to I think it was in Virginia Beach. There was a house there that was never ever touched since like probably the mid 1800s. It's beautiful. It's an old Victorian home, early 1900s, and they didn't move anything out of there. And when you walk in this room, in one of the rooms, it's really a weird feeling because there's nothing modern. It's like you really feel like you step back in time. I can't explain it.
Oh, cool.
It is bizarro, but they did explain. Well, the reason why they have this here, and they said the bathtub is this small because Victorian people they thought the oils that you had on your body were essential. Like, you only needed to bathe once a week or once a month.
It would protect your skin. Well, they are partially right, because if you dry your skin out too much, it kind of messes up your skin.
That's why I haven't showered for 3 weeks.
Oh, grim.
I am totally natural.
I need to take him to the vet and get him another flea dip. Ugh. That's good. And we had to get extra ventilation here at the Erie Cemetery.
I don't have fleas.
To handle his burps and farts.
I have knees.
There's like a fan running over there.
Well, look.
All right, let's read some comments.
Yeah, please.
I was told operating umbrellas in a building was an insult to the sun god. Umbrellas were used to make shade.
Does that go back that far? Is that why you don't open an umbrella in a building?
Yeah, I was always told it was bad luck to open an umbrella in a house.
Breaking a mirror.
Yeah, and if you break a mirror, it's supposed to be 7 years bad luck. The number 7 again.
Yeah, where did all this come from?
I don't know.
Well, I think some of it though too. So maybe it's not OCD, but it's that whole pattern making that humans have. You want to associate. Why did this happen to me? Oh, maybe because it was this.
Maybe because you broke that mirror.
Right, things like that. I said God's name in vain.
Earl's here.
So that's why I tripped, or that's why I broke my nose today.
I'm gonna try to get Earl.
Okay, Earl. Oh, you got him. Now be careful if he scratches you up. Here's a black cat. Is he bad luck? No.
No, he's our good luck Earl.
He's a bad A, but he's not bad luck.
Oh, he's the best Earl in the whole wide world.
I can't do that. If I try to do that, this mask would be in shreds.
I love you, buddy.
Earl.
He's like, I want food.
That's enough.
He wants treats. He came over because he's like, I want treats.
Will there be any new superstitions you think like created? I mean, is there have they stopped being created, or we just have the ones? Are there new ones being?
I'm not sure if there are new superstitions.
Is there
maybe
a superstition like plant somewhere?
Maybe with all the wackiness of social media and TikToks and Instagrams, maybe people will come up with new ones. You never know.
Like if I don't look at my phone before I go to bed, then I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
I don't know.
Have they stopped? Is there superstitions ended?
I don't think they're ever going to stop. I think there will always be like superstitions.
Well, are they the same ones or are there new ones?
Probably new ones. Probably new ones over time.
Does anyone know any current superstitions?
I don't know.
Well, but going back to sports though, they make their own up. You have to scratch this and right.
Yeah, they made their own up.
But that's what led me to my OCD question.
That could have been from like 60 years ago.
That's true.
So William Rochot says 3 on a match came from World War I. A German sniper would zoom in on a third person.
Oh, wow, that's pretty deep.
Let's see.
That's why I carry a Zippo.
Have you guys heard of the Haunted House restaurant in Ohio? Says Jennifer Delaney.
Yes, we've never been yet though.
We have.
It's still there. It's still open.
It's still
doing
there.
well.
Maybe one day we'll check it out.
That guy's opening up another restaurant downtown, I think, or somewhere around in town.
We've heard mixed reviews on it, so.
Yeah, I would check it out. Why not?
Let's see. Other comments.
Relevant to the topic?
Yeah. Albert says, got both jabs the other day. Oh, people are talking about getting their shots for the flu season. Yeah, that's just playing it safe.
That's science, yeah.
Yeah. Celebrities dying in threes is sort of a modern superstition.
Ah, there's a good one.
Yeah, that's one. Yep.
Yeah, it's always in threes.
Where it seems like it's always in threes.
Yeah, but then there's 4 and 5. I'm like, that's a bullshit thing.
Yeah, well, it might have started from a trend and then,
before but if
it probably started that way, and I'm sure it's probably not accurate.
But if you did research, you could probably find out that
maybe there were 10 that week.
Is that the time limit, the 7-day thing? Within 7 days, 3 celebrities
I don't know if there's a time limit on that. Usually it's like within a couple days, I thought.
I don't know so whatever the parameters are, if you really, really research it, you'll probably find that less or more did die during that time. And what qualifies them as a celebrity? Is it
if they're a movie star?
Does it have to be only
like
an
actor, a singer, a celebrity?
Is it only A to B, A to C, or A to Z?
I didn't know there was fine print and,
But you have to really...
You know what I mean? It's like what most people would consider a celebrity. Probably some bigger name person.
What does that mean, though? Well,
you know what that means. It's what I just said.
But technically, if some...
Why are you asking me more questions when I just
Not you directly, but I'm just saying, but that belittles a person who is technically has their SAG card and is an actor.
It would be someone that most people know, like a regular household name that most people would know. Not everyone's gonna know Paul Naschy, but everyone's gonna know Elvis and James Earl Jones.
You're right, and you know what? And that's what labels it a superstition because it's got to be something that everybody understands.
Yes.
If it's something
it's
that's
commonplace, common stuff.
And if you went and investigated it and found out, and if you have to lay all that out and go, well, would this person count technically? Well, technically they would, but nobody knows who they are. Yeah, but they're still technically an actor.
Yeah.
They were in more films than this person that everyone knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can exist.
Reb Ohio says rain on your wedding day. Yeah, if it rains on your wedding day, it's supposed to be good luck.
Right.
And I think that started out probably to make the bride feel better.
Yes.
If it's raining on her wedding day.
Reverse psychology.
Oh, don't be sad. Oh, it's good luck, actually, dear.
See,
and to make her feel better.
But see, that's why I brought up the whole psychology question. Is it psychology? Is some of it
I'm sure some of it is, some of it is. Because it's like, okay, I'm going to follow this tradition or superstition because... of XYZ, it makes me feel better, whatever. Or I'm going to not do that thing because if I don't, I'll feel relieved that I didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And It's
very interesting anyway.
Right. I mean, the human condition is something that it's ever evolving. I mean, there's a lot of things that we, obviously think are ridiculous now that we thought were facts and true and plausible 20, 30, 100, 200 years ago. It's constantly changing. What will this look like? What will human beings look like 100 years from now, 1,000? Who knows? I doubt it will resemble anything that we have right now. Because if you rewind time from now, it's a lot different. And a lot the same, though, too.
The more things change, some things still stay the same.
Right.
The more they stay the same. Because we've seen, like, finding things on VHS, those old news clips.
Right.
And it's like the same news stories that are going on today.
Oh, no, this is from 1985.
Really? We find stuff from the 1980s on VHS, and they're complaining about gas prices and the economy.
Everything.
And you fast forward 40 years, and they're still complaining about the same things.
It's the same newscast.
Or they still have the same concerns, I should say.
Just different newscasters and... different people reporting. That's about it. But David
Hayes' good point. Is Grimm allowed to comment on the human condition, being part gorilla and all?
Well, but the other part's human. I'm a monkey man.
He's a monkey man.
Baby.
He is part human.
Representing the man half.
Yes. All right. So I think we're going to wrap this up because I am one tired little ghoul. And the show actually went longer than what I thought I would stay awake for.
This is getting more into the, we're getting into a different area here, weird areas. But I like it.
Yes.
That's what I like about the Hangover. It's a little bit different vibe,
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. If you like our Friday the 13th and Superstitions chat, you can please give the video a thumbs up. And we do appreciate you.
Is it Friday the 14th yet?
It's actually almost Saturday the 14th.
Or
you said Friday the 14th.
Well, is it the 14th?
No. In 10 more minutes it will be just about.
So we got some time. Okay.
I do have a link in the video description box. If you guys are interested in checking out FIRMOO sunglasses and they're like prescription glasses and readers. So these are pretty nice. They sent them to me to try out, and there's a coupon code for 50% off.
Superstar.
And the link is there too. And you can actually get like prescription glasses made with that as well, like if you like the frames or whatever.
Beautiful.
So cool stuff.
50% off code.
Yeah, that's a good discount.
Not too shabby.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Good night, good fright. Mwah.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Friday the 13th. Until next time.
Happy Saturday the 14th.
That too. Have a great weekend.
Have a happy something. Bye, guys.